Today is the 15th of December 2009. We are at the Isaac C. Griswold Public Library in Whitehall, New York. My name is Wayne Clarke. I'm from the New York State Military Museum and Veterans Research Center in Saratoga Springs, New York. Sir, for the record, would you please state your full name and your date and place of birth, please?
John A. Putorti, 153 Broadway, Whitehall, New York, 12887, 218 to 25.
All right. And did you attend school in Whitehall?
Yes. Went through 1 year of high school and then got drafted after that.
Okay. Did you drop out of school, or did you?
Yeah, I dropped out and then I went into service.
Okay. And which branch of the service did you go into?
I went in the Navy. Had a choice of a Navy, Army, Marines. I chose the Navy.
Okay. And in what year did you go in?
1943.
All
May
right.
1943.
All right. Let me go back just a little bit. You grew up in Whitehall.
Yes.
Do you remember where you were when you heard about the attack on Pearl Harbor?
Yes, I was riding around in a car on a Sunday afternoon about 1 o'clock, and I heard on the radio that the United States was at war with Japan.
Mm-hmm. What was your reaction? How did you feel?
Well, I went in the bowling alley and told all the boys in there, and I wasn't too happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of guys, friends of mine, they went right down and joined the Navy.
Mm-hmm. Did you know where Pearl Harbor was?
No, not at the time.
Okay. And so you ended up going, well, between the time that Pearl Harbor happened and you went into the service, did you notice any changes around town with rationing or
Yeah, yes, quite a bit so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to get gas and sugar and stuff like that. It was kind of scarce.
Mm-hmm. Did you participate in any scrap metal drives or anything like that?
No, no.
Okay. You went into the Navy. Now, why did you pick the Navy?
Because I didn't feel like going and fighting on the land and that big a foxhole to live in.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any other family members that were in the Navy, or?
No, my older brother was in the Army, and he was in the Battle of the Bulge, and
Mm-hmm.
I was communicating with him, and it didn't sound too good what they were going through over there.
And what was your brother's name?
Joe.
Joe?
Joseph, yeah.
Is Joe still living?
No, Joe has passed away. My younger brother, Fred, he's passed away.
Mm-hmm. Was Fred in the service too?
He was in the service, but it wasn't during the war. After the he went in and after the war was over.
All right. And where did you go for your basic training?
Sampson, New York.
And what was it like at Sampson?
Well, it was a boot camp. It was nice, and it was something boot camp they built just for for the war. Then there's no longer there.
Well, was that basically the first time you were away from home for an extended period?
No, I worked down the water fleet for a while before, right after I got out of school, and lived with my uncle down there.
Okay. And your basic training at Sampson, how long did that last? Approximately?
I think it was 8 weeks.
Uh-huh. Did you fire a weapon?
No. Not till I got on board ship.
All right. After Sampson, where did you go?
I went to Norfolk to pick up my ship, the ship I was on. Norfolk, Virginia.
Did you have any training besides your boot camp, or was it on-the-job training on board ship?
Well, we had no on-the-job training. I went to the radar shack.
All right.
I became a radar operator 3rd class.
On board the ship?
On board ship, yeah.
And what was the name of the ship?
USS Walker. Now, I was on a 40 millimeter, a pointer on a 40 millimeter gun beside being the radar operator. When I stood a watch on not a 40mm gun.
And what was your job on that gun?
Just a pointer. I pointed around, the other guy was on the fired it on the other side.
Okay. All
And
right.
before we went over to the South Pacific, we operated for a month in the Atlantic Ocean,
Mm-hmm.
and we would take aircraft carriers down on a shakedown cruise,
Mm-hmm.
and from Norfolk to Trinidad. And then one night they told us to go out and get us, there's a sub coming in around Trinidad,
Mm-hmm.
and we had to go out and get it. And by the time we got out there, the plane had shot it, and there was 43 survivors we picked up brought aboard our ship, Germans. And
Did you have any contact with them at all?
not really. They had one that they threw, had a burial at sea for him. They had a full military honor for him, Heil Hitler and the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was a captain. They blew his leg right off.
Oh,
In the submarine.
okay. Now, after you guys captured the crew, where did you take them?
We took them into Trinidad, and
Mhm.
they brought them up to, they had a camp or something there. They took them off and brought them in there.
All right. And where did you go from Trinidad?
Well, we went back Norfolk, and
Mm-hmm.
then about a month we did that. Then we went through the canal, took the ship through the canal, went to the South Pacific.
And do you recall when that was, approximately?
Yeah, I got papers home that tells me, but I don't have it with me.
All right.
Uh,
So it was still 1943?
yeah, probably in the summer of '43.
All right. And you said you went to the South Pacific.
Right.
Where did you go first? Did you go to Hawaii first?
Yeah, we went to San Diego,
Uh-huh.
and then from there we went to Hawaii, and then from there we got dispatched to go to the Marshall Islands, which we went in and bombarded the beach on the Marshall Islands. Then we went all the way up through to the mainland of Japan. We went to Marshall Islands, the Gilbert Islands, Leyte, Chinia, Saipan.
All
We had
right.
all these beaches before they put our troops in there.
Okay. So you were out in the Pacific for about 2 years then?
Yeah, 2.5 years, yeah.
All right. What was it like the first time you went into an island? Did you encounter any kind of resistance, like kamikazes or
well-
anything like that?
We didn't get in the kamikaze until we got up around Okinawa. I
Mhm.
never believed it, that a man would get in a plane to take a dive at a ship.
Mm-hmm.
And in Okinawa, they were like flies up there. They, almost all the time there had and quite a few of our aircraft carriers got hit out there.
Mm-hmm. What was Okinawa the worst for you?
Yes, yeah, that was the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Well, every night we've been like in one of the harbors, like Fuji Islands or Skidney or Saipan, and every hour on the hour there would be got to go man our battle station because
Mm-hmm.
there was a Jap ship they were playing around.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we were about the first ship in the mainland of Japan, when
Mhm.
they blew up, that's when the war was over. After
Okay.
we went in there, and our planes did an awful job on their fleet in there,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the end of the war.
Okay. Going back, though, were you ever fired on or attacked by any Japanese ships?
Well,
directly?
We were, but this one plane, I think he didn't want to be a suicide. I think he was just coming in to drop bombs. And when he went by me, I had his pole about 20 foot long. I could have hit the pilot in the head off my gun mount
Uh-huh.
when he went by. And he crossed over the top of the ship and they took the top lifeline and cut it right off with his wing. And he went over and blew right up.
Uh-huh.
And that was the end of him.
Okay. Did you ever pick up any Japanese
Yeah,
prisoners?
we picked up a couple of Japanese pilots.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And they wasn't very friendly when you picked them up.
Yeah.
We had one guy we went to pick him up, and that he threatened us with a pistol. So the captain called in this main chief of the fleet and said, "What do you want me to do with him?" Said, "Open up a 20 millimeter on him, just take papers off him and let him go."
Uh-huh.
Yeah. See, when you went in an island like Guinea and Saipan, there's no other outlet. It's the way you went in, the way you come out.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a lot of gunfire, gunfire off the beach at us in them islands like that.
Was Saipan pretty bad too?
Not as bad as Okinawa, no.
Uh-huh.
That was about the worst. Like I say, when we got in the mainland of Japan, that was something. We went in Yokosuka Bay,
Mm-hmm.
and
Now
I
that-
don't know how many one-man subs they had out there.
Uh-huh.
Hundreds of them. You'd never believe that a man could get in that little sub that ain't only about 3 or 4 foot long and go after their ship with one.
Mm-hmm.
But they did it.
So you were really surprised when you went into the mainland. Now I've heard a lot of veterans say that had they not dropped the atomic bomb, our losses really would have skyrocketed once we hit the mainland. Did you find that to be true?
Yeah. Well, once they did that, things calmed down pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Once they dropped the A-bomb.
Did you actually, once they did drop the bomb, what was your reaction? Had you any idea what the destruction was going to be like?
No, not till I heard it on the news, our ship news.
Mm-hmm.
Had no idea what would cause that much damage to somebody.
Mm-hmm. Now, was there a lot of celebration on the ship once you heard that the war had ended?
No, not really. We were just looking to get points to get out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got married in January of '45 when I came home on leave,
Mm-hmm.
and I got an extra 10 points for being married, so that helped me get out earlier.
Okay. Now, when you got to the mainland China,
Japan.
Japan, did you get off the ship at all? Did you go into
No,
the city?
Yokosuka when we went, not in the northern part of Japan where their harbor was, their main harbor.
Mm-hmm.
Yokosuka, I got off the ship.
And how were you treated by the Japanese people?
Well, really, I didn't really come in contact too much with them. I
Mhm.
mean, it was a brief liberty that we had there.
Mm-hmm.
And more or less, you just go on the beach and have a couple cans of beer and go back to the ship.
Mm-hmm. Now, you spent 2 years in the Pacific. Were there any other ports of call where you were able to get off the ship and have some liberty?
Yeah, in Hawaii, went on leave in Hawaii, went to Honolulu.
Mm-hmm. What was that like?
It was nice up in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that place there, that one street, Hotel Street, what they call it, is the same today as it was, because I've been back there since.
Oh.
And that street still the same as it was back in 1943.
Mm-hmm.
They never changed the design of it or nothing.
Did it bring back a lot of memories?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now when I first went to Hawaii, on the way over to the South Pacific, I think there's only one hotel on that whole damn beach in '43.
Mm-hmm.
Now there were like flies out there.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't the same place.
Mm-hmm. Did you go to any other places like Australia or New Zealand?
No, just the Philippines. We went to the Philippines and had liberty there in the Philippines. That's just like I say, it's just they call it a beer party. They had
Mm-hmm.
2 cans of beer. Everybody was living 2 cans of beer.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was walking the beach there with half a case of beer on my shoulder, I met a friend of mine from Whitehall.
Oh,
So it was our neighbor right up here.
and who was that?
And him and Tommy Noonan. And him and I shared the beer together.
Uh-huh. That must have been quite a
Well,
thing.
I knew, I didn't know that he was on Liberty at the time,
Uh-huh.
but I know he was on the Alabama, which is a cruiser.
Uh-huh.
and every 2 days or so, we would pull alongside of her to take fuel off in her, fuel storage.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew he was on it, but I didn't know he was on liver at the same time I was, and met him on the beach out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, what was your daily life aboard ship?
There
Well-
wasn't much to do. You
Mhm.
try to find a card game or something because I was staying a 4-hour watch in a radar shack.
Mm-hmm.
A radar then is not like it is today. You stand there and crank a scope around to read the ships or the airplane, and you plot out their course, so which way they're going, how fast they're going.
Mm-hmm.
That was our job. We took all the messages that come in over in the radar shack. But that was besides our general quarters. Our general quarters had to go man a gun.
Uh-huh.
So
What was the food like aboard ship?
yeah, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't all that good either.
Uh-huh. What were your living quarters like?
We had just stacked bunks,
Mhm.
2 bunks, and it was kind of tight. The destroyer is not too big a ship.
Uh-huh.
It's a pretty small ship. And we went through a typhoon with it, and I was walking through midship, and the thing was almost like a submarine. It was underneath the water more, it was up on top. And I see the ship spread open. I said, holy God, this thing's gonna break in two. But then I found out that they have a bipartable joint. They're made that way so they will expand and contract,
Oh.
so they won't break in two.
Mm-hmm. What about entertainment? Did you have movies?
No, there was no entertainment.
Okay. What about USO shows? Did you ever see anything
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
we used to go to USO in Hawaii. They had one, and had one in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about California. I mean, in San Francisco. We were in San Francisco for a month or two for an overhaul. That's when I got married in January '45. I had a month leave, and we were in Frisco for the month of January.
So did your wife come out and meet you in San Francisco?
No. She
Okay.
stayed right here.
Okay. All right. And you mentioned seeing some USO shows. Did you ever see Bob Hope or any celebrities at all?
Yes, I can't think of what one now. I can't think of that. Oh, Harry James with
Oh.
the trumpet. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, him at one U.S. show, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now you mentioned getting married in January of
Yeah.
45?
Yeah.
So you weren't discharged at that point?
No.
Okay. When did they actually discharge you?
November 1945.
November of 45.
Yeah.
Okay.
The war was over in June or July of 45, I
Yep.
think.
August
August, yeah.
of 45.
No, it was November 45.
Oh, okay. All right. What rank were you when you were discharged?
Radar man, 3rd class.
And what was the pay like back then?
$21 a month. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we got.
And whereabouts were you discharged from?
Whitehall Beach, New York.
And once you were discharged, you came back to Whitehall?
Yes.
Did you make use of the GI Bill at all?
Yeah, I was on the job training. That's where I learned my mechanics. I worked for a garage here, and the government paid me so much, and the owner of the garage had to pay the difference.
All right. And did you ever use the GI Bill to like buy a home?
No.
All right. Did you stay in contact with any of the fellows you were in service with?
Not really, no.
All right. So you never you never attended any reunions or?
I attended one reunion down in Florida, and we got kicked out of the hotel before anything started. They had a mandatory evacuation for a hurricane coming in,
Oh.
and we had to get out. They no ifs, ands about it.
How long ago was that?
God, I don't know, about 20 years ago.
All right. Did you join any veterans organizations?
Yeah, I belonged to American Legion and the Veteran of Foreign Wars.
Okay. And how do you think your time in the service changed or affected your life?
Well, not much really. You know, it's hard to even remember that I was even in a service now, but it didn't make too much changes.
Mm-hmm. And what are you doing today? Are you?
I'm still operating a garage.
Oh, so you're still working?
Still working at 84 years old.
Wow.
Get up every morning, open up the laundromat, and then go to work in the garage.
Uh-huh.
Well, I got my two sons working with me now.
Mm-hmm.
They're retired, but I'm still working.
Uh-huh.
They retired from fishing pride, and I'm still working.
Okay. Do you have any questions at all?
John, did your ship sustain any damage, casualties during these encounters?
Not, only it took that top lifeline off. But when we're in the Atlantic bringing these aircraft carriers down on the shakedown cruise to break the pilots in,
Mm-hmm.
they would throw fish at us, what they call a torpedo, but it had a dummy head on it. And one hit us right on the waterline, the #1 magazine. And if that was a real head, there'd been nothing left of that ship. Hit it right in the power magazine. But we just went back to port, got it patched up, and continue on to secure that hatch for that room.
When the war ended, and of course MacArthur signed the thing on the Missouri, where was your ship
When
at the end? When they signed the end of the
when
war?
both Halsey announced the war was over, we were just passing through the front of the bow of their ship, just going right by it.
Yeah.
When he announced the war was over. Yeah.
When you got married, you were on leave, you said, in San Francisco. Did you get married there or here?
No, here. We got married in Granville.
Granville.
Yeah, that's where my wife was from.
Okay. Any other questions?
Did you say you were in Okinawa,
Yeah,
John?
yeah.
What role did your ship have there?
Well, you see, the way the Navy was operating then, we had three groups. There had an aircraft carrier, a battleship, a heavy cruiser, a light cruiser, and 12 destroyers screening these. And they went and proceeded on the way, all the way up through. We would escort the LSTs up and whatnot to bring them into the beach. But we would go in ahead of them and shell the beach before they land the troops in. See, we got 5-inch guns. We would go in there and bombard the beach. Then they bring the rest of the troops in, the LSTs.
You had a 5-inch gun on the destroyer?
Yeah, 5-inch, and had 3 5-inch and 4 or 5 40 millimeters, and I don't know how many 20 millimeters. But we also had torpedoes and depth charges.
So you were constantly escorting troops
Yeah,
to the bait, to
yeah.
the beaches?
Well, yeah, and we, you know, every time a carrier get hit, we'd have to go up, pick up the commander of the fleet who was on there or whatnot, and bring him to the other ship, another ship. And like I say, almost every one of our aircraft carriers got hit around Okinawa. Almost every one of them. And like I say, we'd go out, pick up the pilots, bring them back to their ship. One night we had it wasn't very nice. We had one of our destroyers got hit, and we had to go out and tow them into the island. That wasn't very nice, making 10 knots and all these jet planes are around. That's around Okinawa and whatnot.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, okay, you mentioned the Franklin being hit?
Yeah, well, see, she was in another task force, you know, we were about 10 miles away, the 3 task force. And of course, I was on the 40 millimeter where I had phones and listen and see what was going on. So the ship was burning up out there, you could see it burning up, and the bombs going off all the time. Well, I called in and said, what ship's that out there? They said the USS Franklin. And I had a friend from Whitehall, the name was Ray Beckwith. I knew he was on it,
Mm-hmm.
and he got killed on the Franklin.
Oh.
So then we had one guy, kid from New Jersey. On our way to Okinawa, he bailed off the ship, and God never found him. I don't know how he knew where we were going even, but he knew it and jumped off.
And you mentioned knowing other veterans from Whitehall that lost their lives.
That's the only ones I've met, you know, in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
It was Ray Beckwith and not Ray. Ray was home on leave the same time I was when I got married. We went back together
Mm-hmm.
from Whitehall on the same train, went back to Frisco. And that's how I knew he was on the Franklin.
How
And I
long
used
was
to you'll see Tommy Noonan every day on, you know, 'cause every other day when we refueled and got
Mhm.
stuff from him.
how long was that train ride from Whitehall to San Francisco?
4 days,
4 days.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other recollections?
I'm trying to think. Yeah.
When you worked in Whitehall, you said you went to work at a garage in Whitehall. Which garage did you work at?
Parker's Garage, he used to sell Dodge in Plymouth. It's right across the street from my house.
Is that the one that's down where the dollar store is now?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, we moved down to there. And then 1953, I went in a visit for myself.
Where you are now? It's the
Right
same
across
place?
the street, well, that's where the Dodge of Plymouth was, and he moved out,
Uh-huh.
and I worked up the new garage for a while, and then I went in to visit myself in the garage at
Is that an auto parts store now?
well, there's another garage,
Okay.
yeah.
So how long did you work for him under the GI Bill?
Well, probably, I think from 46 to 53.
Okay. And that all that time was it was part of the GI Bill?
Yeah, they bought all my tools and paid, the government would pay so much and then the owner would pay. Yeah.
Did you participate at all in the what they called the 5220 Club?
Yeah, I do that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
For some of us who don't know what that is, so could you
Oh.
describe that?
It's like an unemployment
Yeah,
insurance,
so
right?
you got
$20 a week.
$20 for 52 weeks.
Did you have to do something for
No,
that, or just
No,
that was available to all veterans?
Yeah,
Okay, so that was before you started work at the garage?
yeah.
So when you did come back, was it difficult to find a job?
Yes, very much so.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So most everybody that went into the service when they came back, did they go back to their previous jobs, or were those?
They could have went back to their previous jobs. I mean, it was there that I think the government told them they had to hire these veterans back
Mhm.
if they wanted their jobs back.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.